Hello everyone, again. Okay, we are back.
Good luck. Zata versus Dizzy. Get ready to
My cam looks really dark. I'm not sure what has changed since last time.
heaven or hell. Duel 1. Let's rock. It's not over yet. Duel 2. Keep on rocking.
Oh boy, I'm getting 6H instead of throw. That's not a good start.
It's not over yet.
Okay. Oh, one sec. I need to...
Heaven or hell.
No, that's fine.
1. Let's rock.
I always get worried that my PC changes my settings on me. And I'm not sure why, but especially things like sound. It seems to really enjoy just resetting things back to whatever it used to be by default. Oh, Zato.
It's not over yet.
Okay. I need to play more Exerd and more Zato, for
Duel
sure.
2. Keep on rocking.
Classic Zato moment right there, yeah. 2D is the source of greatest suffering that Zato can imagine. Oh! Damn, I'm really bad at the game. I need to play so much more Exerd.
Duel 3. Keep on rocking.
Fun fact, the Dizzy 2P actually just outranged the Eddie P attack there. You can't do that. The 2D into setting ice fish thing, that's not exactly real. You gonna try out Project L when it drops? I think so. It seems interesting, but I generally don't play tag games, so that is a concern. Oh, Nobiru. The main thing for me is to be able to play with people as opposed to against.
Heaven or hell. Duel. One.
What do you mean by that exactly? Because I think I know what you mean, but I'm not sure if you are thinking in the same way that I am. Oh, you mean in a more, like, a literal way? Yeah, that's a cool part too. I think fighting games could do more of that, and in ways that are not necessarily explored so far. Like, I know that Street Fighter Cross Tekken, that had that kind of mode too, where you had two people. And to be honest, I don't really know too much about that game, but I think it would be kind of cool if you could do things as like the second player that affects the match while the other player is still playing their game, like they are controlling the character. Like for example, if you could like spawn an assist, I guess. That'd be kind of cool. And I don't know to what degree Project L does this, but it could be cool. I don't know. I just haven't ever put that much time into a tag game before. It has to a major degree. If your friend is tagged out, he controls the assists, and you can tag him in to extend combos and mix-ups. It's really cool. I see. That's pretty cool.
Heaven or hell. Duel. One. Let's roll.
I want FD. I did not get FD. I thought there was a little bit more. I did like how KOF 13, and I think all the KOF games work, which is you just control 3 characters, but not at the same time, or like you just do it in different rounds. I thought that was like something that would mesh well with me. Okay, that was a very scuffed unblockable, but I had to do it because Eddie Gage was about to run out. So like if I wait a little bit more to make it real, I can't actually... I don't have enough gauge. I can't wait for long. Oh, Eddie! Buttons! It's okay, we got it. I wonder if Ray's been playing, because I know that most people who used to play this game either moved to Strive or like quote-unquote retired into a MMO. Or maybe they play like Street Fighter 6 now. But I also do know that some people have stuck around. But I don't know if this person has or not. Oh. No, he plays. He streams quite a bit. I see.
Keep on rocking.
Good to know that some people still play, at least. Oh! Oh! Okay, that one. If I win, it's all okay. It's all forgiven. See, I'll even repeat this a lot when I'm trying to give advice to people, which is winning a round has infinite value. There's nothing you can do in this game. Well, there's like a little bit of a leeway because burst carries over rounds, but generally speaking, there's nothing in this game that you can do that is higher value than winning the round. I think this kills. If it works. Getting one drill for your choice. If you win, it was all calculated, unless you scuff it, of course.
All or nothing. Not over yet.
It's really tempting to burst there. if you're the opponent and you get counter hit by Nobiru. It's probably not good usually to do so there. I think I might die. No. No, I'm dead. Okay. I don't play Exer, but I need to play more gear. AC. I see. When people say AC, especially in like the English-speaking regions, like I always can't tell if they mean AC or plus R. Because if you say AC in, for example, Korean, there's a pretty high likelihood that they mean like actual AC, like the 4 plus R. But for here, I actually can't really tell. But yeah, plus R is a fun game. I don't think I'll ever full-on commit to plus R. I could be wrong, but I don't think I'll ever do that because I just absolutely despise some characters to a degree that I don't equate to in this game at all. Like even to Ram, I really hate Ram and playing against her, but I don't think it's to the point where I'd be like, this causes me to not want to play the game. In plus R, there are some characters that make me feel that way. Like Zappa, specifically. I think you're expected to say plus R in English countries. You say that, and I agree. I think you should say plus R, but I've seen so many people who say AC, but they actually mean plus R. So I agree. You should say either AC or plus R. But it seems like reality is not so kind. Nice combo. I'm not gonna burst. Oh, nice. I actually got out of that setup by doing full charge. I could have been punished, but I didn't get punished there.
Turn up the heat.
Didn't exactly want the RC to be purple. And yeah, plus R Zappa is an evil character. I agree. Absolutely. There's no justice for Zappa players. Oh, so close. Okay, Zato may be bad, but he's not bad to the point where his 2K will get beaten by 2D if used at the same time. He's not that bad. Oh, nice. Oh. You got baited. Every time you see Shadow Gallery, and like I do it right above where their 6p hits, it's because I'm trying to get them to 6p so that they get hit by the Shadow Gallery. It's a good feeling to have when it works. He wants my burst. Yep. I gave it to him. I gave it to him.
All or nothing.
Really? Unfortunate. The setups are like Zato setups with Eddie, but she doesn't need Eddie. How unfair. Eddie, please. Okay, it's okay.
Duel. Two. All or nothing.
Yeah, I've been doing that a lot so far in this set. The command throw as part of the mix. Oh, maybe I could have killed. I think I could have killed there. No bursts? It's okay. See, here's the thing. When people are at like 5% HP, they have burst, and they see you running towards them with nothing else. The first instinct is to burst. I like how Eddie died there despite me unsummoning, by the way. Big mistake.
Keep on rocking.
Oh! I didn't want that. I think that's a Zato byproduct. Like, I don't think I would do that if I play other characters, where I just like accidentally use burst in that way. I think it's because my fingers are positioned in a way where I have to be ready to negative edge, but I could be wrong. But I do notice myself doing that on other characters too. So I'm not sure if it's like a his auto thing or not. Oh, what was that? That's fine, kind of. That's fine, okay.
Heaven or hell. Duel. One. Let's rock.
I wonder if his faster. I wonder if the faster button is Dizzy JH or my JD. I think it's Dizzy JH. Okay.
Duel. Two. Keep on rocking.
He's got to realize at some point that I'm doing a lot of this Eddie walking forwards thing during my block string, and that is a lot of time he can be. That is a lot of time he could be spending mashing to kill Eddie. So I'm getting away with so much value right now. What was that? And I think he didn't used to be so like stand still-ish on defense, I feel like. I could be wrong. Maybe I was thinking of a different Dizzy player. Actually, now that I bring it up, I think it was a different Dizzy player. There's another guy called $sign Tang. And I think that guy is a lot more aggressive in general.
All or nothing.
Oh, nice. So you can't count on those things to happen when you're playing versus good players. But when it does happen, and it does sometimes happen, that's a good feeling.
Duel. Three. Keep on rocking.
I want a gold burst. I think I die. That's a lot of risk. Yeah. Even without risk, I think I die there. With that damage.
Heaven or hell. Duel. One. Let's rock.
Okay. Song, I believe this is third run. I forget the name of the game in English. There's like a set of background music that are called first run, second run, and third run. This one is, I believe, third run. Let me see. It's third run from a game called Tails Weaver. Play next one. Oh, nice. It's a good thing no one ever sees that move. Is it a JRPG? I actually don't know. I know that it's an RPG of some sort, but I don't know more than that. It's a... If you know about Mabinogi or Maple Story, it's made by the same developer. Oh, okay. Okay.
Turn up the heat.
He keeps doing that. I'm not sure why. Like, he knows... I know that he knows. Like, it's not safe. And I'm not gonna let it fly either. Like, the thing where he does... I think it was 5H into, like, a fish summon. I think it's not safe. Against Zato, at least. Both seem to have a good OST. They have excellent music. Please! Nice! That's really hard to do, by the way. The timing on the throw to get the super is really hard. I implore you to try that in training mode. It's really hard. Like, specifically with a command throw. It is not easy. Okay. The 2K needs to hit for that to work. So I think I have to focus a bit more on the match, because, to be very honest, I usually don't come across good players, and I would like to make the most out of it when I can. Weird choice. He's gonna get stunned soon. have you thought of going to majors recently? I've wanted to for the past 3 years. Let me tell you, there's been some absolute horseshits that has prevented me from going consecutively. It is very unfortunate. The first time I wanted to go was for a tournament called Michigan Masters, when it still existed, and that was, I believe, 2020, yeah, 2020, or 2021, and that was, if you remember, I think it was 2020, so it was immediately before COVID started to be a thing, and so people are starting to get nervous about like whether tournaments would start running or not, and Michigan Masters was all set to run properly without any issues, and then all of a sudden, there was also some drama there, I'm not sure what it was about, but all of a sudden, they decided that it would no longer run, understandably, obviously. And then for that event, I booked hotels, I booked a flight, I booked everything, and it did not happen as a result. That was the first US tournament I was set to go for. So that didn't happen, and for a big part of 2021 and 2022, I was in Korea. And I did go to some like tournament things, but they weren't really that big in scale. Because Korea doesn't really play that game too much. Like, they have really good players. They have one player in particular that's amazing at the game. But like the scene itself is not that big. And they don't really have tournaments at that scale. So I couldn't really go to any tournaments there until 2022. At the end of 2022, it, hold on, let me get my timeline straight. I think it was, yeah, it was around the beginning of 2022. They came back here to Canada, and in Canada, I found out that this game was not really being played that much because of a new game called Guilty Gear Strive. So because Strive had released at that point, I was playing this game a little bit, like here and there, but nothing too serious, and not nearly as much as I had been practicing in the past. And it also turned out that I absolutely despise Strive, so it was not really an option for me to continue playing that game. And so, due to the fact that I can only really stand this game, and not really any other fighting game, the result was me going to play MMOs, the retirement home of all fighting game players, for the past year or so. And then, now I'm back. And I do want to go to stuff like Frosty, if possible. But number one, I'm a student. Number two, consequently, I'm poor. And also may not have time. So we'll see. I still do want to go to like one US tournament, but so far it has not happened at all. But hey, I do pretty well in tournaments. Net play tournaments, at least. Or whatever that counts for. Oh, okay. That air dash was a little lower than I thought it would be. Watching this during a calculus lecture? I see. This matchup is like a calculus lecture. Eddie, please. You know how if you play that back, you will have seen that Eddie kind of bounces back from the corner. That is effectively impossible for me to control. And like during the time that he bounces backwards, I can't do anything with him. It's very frustrating. It's like on the same tier as Zato's 2D being too short. It's like that level of frustrating when that happens. Because you know, like, you made all the preparations for that to work. You have the right setup, you have the right meter, you have the right gauge, but then Eddie just bounces back and he can't do anything. It's horrible. And like you kind of can control it in the sense that it kind of depends on the spacing at which you start Buzzsaw. But a lot of times you can't even really control that realistically. Like some people are going to say, "Oh, you just have to space Eddie better," but it's not always possible. Like sometimes you are forced to play your hand in a less than optimal way. Where's my throw? Seems impossible to find the time to attend tourneys as a student. It's hard. It's hard to play the game even, to be honest. Stop it. I refuse to be a bad player. Oh. But Zato will not refuse to be a bad character, that's for sure. Eddie, please. I'm gonna great weight. It's gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Okay, didn't do anything. No, I got the danger, the negative penalty kind of. Oh shit, it's fine. He did his job. It was very effective at almost getting him at danger time. Negative penalty. Really traded. Now I'm dead. Is that like an insane next level strategy? Great White to drain the opponent's meter? No. It's a previous level strategy. So it's just not good. If you have 50 meter, there's a lot more you can do with that than Great White at pretty much any given scenario. Oh. Didn't know this character could stall like that. Yeah, Dizzy, both Dizzy and Zato, although I think Dizzy does it better. They can both stall in the air pretty well. That being said, stalling in the air is not really a great strategy in this game for any character. Mostly. Like Ram can also do it pretty well. fine. Okay. I have to FD everything there because I'm one tick away from dying. It doesn't kill. I think I was doing the combo, and then I saw Dizzy's health, and then I decided to super, and then I noticed that I had to burst super, but then by the time I realized I had to burst super, it was already too late. I think that was the order of occurrences. There was a lot going on. Got him! What an amazing set of events. Yeah, that was like Tekken just now. Just running into each other. Oh, I guess to be precise in Tekken, there'll be one person running into the other player. 2D Drunkard seems like a way to ruin a knockdown. Is it any good? It really depends on a lot of things. Generally speaking, no, it's not worth it. Because it kind of assumes that you know for sure that the 2D is going to hit. And if you don't know that, then you just kind of lose frame advantage, which you don't really want at all. Oh. He had another jump there. I didn't know.
Turn up the heat.
Really? And it's from that far away? Man, and the firefish still goes off there. Okay, it's fine. How come she gets to YRC her insane projectile? Ice Spike, whatever that move is. Yeah, it's a signature move of Dizzy. It's Ice Spike YRC. Fun facts, Eddie cannot mortal counter, or whatever it's called, during this mode, because he is considered a projectile. Do I die? I think I do, yeah.
All or nothing.
They should have made drill YRC like a mid-hitting drill. Would that be too good? I don't think so. They could have done that. I feel like he'll be fine. But in general, I'm not really too big of a fan of YRC projectile being so meta anyways. So I'm not sure if I would make it into that direction. I think I win. Like, it would be too good. Well, actually, I was gonna say it would be too good if it was a low, because then you get access to a lot of unblockables that you don't have originally. But I don't know if I don't know if unblockables, like even having that, makes it too OP. It probably does. And you might not expect this from me, but I actually am not like such a huge fan of the unblockable theme that Zato has going on. I would prefer if the character was more focused on like the ability to control Eddie in neutral. Like you can, I can forego all the unblockable stuff. Just give me some other form of damage that's like a little nerfed from unblockables, and give me better ways to control Eddie in neutral. I think that'll be better. Not sure what the intent was on defense.
Heaven or hell. Duel. One. Let's rock.
It's not the kind of sacrifice I wanted from Eddie. When she does Ice Spike YRC, Eddie is standing right where you are, and then Eddie dies instead of you blocking. That's a sad time. Like, at least make me block instead, so I don't lose Eddie. That'd be nice. Oh, I wanted Buzzsaw at the end there for OTG. Is Zato like Milia where he gains risk more rapidly than everyone else? I don't think he does. I could be wrong. All I know is that he feels like a wet piece of paper on defense. Do I die? I think I do. I asked that because it's either that or Dizzy cranks the guard bar way more than she should. Yeah, no clue.
Heaven or hell. Duel. One. Let's rock.
I understand a lot of people who will go to great lengths to find out stuff like that, because it does take a lot of time, and it isn't irrelevant info. And when I do learn about things like that, it is good to know. But from my perspective, you have to understand that whether Zato's guard, like his risk gauge, fills up faster than different characters, for the strict purpose of improving, is I don't think too relevant for me. So I never kind of go out of my way to learn things like that. You can even say the same thing about frame data, to some extent, where there's a lot of frame data stuff that I don't really, to be honest, that I don't really care about too much. I think this is burst safe. It's useful to know if you play a bunch of different characters, I think. Possibly But say for example, like I'm playing Milia, and then I don't have the knowledge that this character's risk gauge fills up faster than Zato's. I don't think in that case that my play will be different as a result of having that knowledge. Because fundamentally, the way in which I want to control the amount of risk that I have, it's not going to change based on, like, arguably such a small difference. Ah, okay. It's useful to know if you... oh, maybe you could choose to FD moves you wouldn't have otherwise. Yeah, it's possible.
Heaven or hell. Duel. One.
But for example, like if I... and here's a thing that actually happens, which is Dizzy Far Slash, and I'm in the air, and I'm forced to block it, or I'm forced to FD it, rather. I'm already kind of aware of the... like the risk implications of that on my character. As I play each character anyways, it's kind of like, and I guess it kind of means that I am learning that indirectly anyways. Like for example, if I play Milia and I FD the Far Slash, I'm gonna see that it gets me a certain amount of risk. And I just kind of naturally learn that, okay, this is true. Like I get more risk as this character than a different character. But I don't think that that difference is going to make changes in my decision making. There may be other examples of this where one character has like a different data value than a different character. Like an easy example would be Wake Up Data, where Wake Up Data is, like objectively it is very important to know in this game. Depending on the character, but still. And in that kind of case, you do have to go out of your way to learn it. But I don't feel like, or rather I should say, there are some things that I feel have more value in that regard than others. Hold on, I'm gonna focus on the sets briefly. Basically, I think that that kind of thing always has value. That can't be argued. But due to the way that people have limited attention spans, it's a little bit questionable to me. And I'm not saying it is for this specifically with regard to the risk thing, but sometimes for some scenarios, it does make me think that if someone's going to go out of their way to learn this, there's so many other things they could do, usually in-game, that would benefit them more. And I guess on this topic, I should also bring up that whenever I talk about this kind of thing, you have to think in the sense of trying to get someone to improve the most efficiently. Which I don't think is where you're coming from. Whenever I talk about game-related things, like in terms of the way things work, or things you would tell someone to get them to improve, it is always with the goal of largest improvement in shortest amount of time. think I don't burst. Or do I? No, I don't. The most extreme example is Soul Fafnir. It builds like 40% of Milia's risk gauge, so I would rather give him the extra frame advantage than taking it. But I definitely understand your viewpoints. Yeah, for me it's an opportunity cost thing. Where generally speaking, people tend to have issues that if they solve, give them a reward of like a numerical value of 50, for example. And these take like the effort of a numerical value of 1 to solve. But what I find generally is when people talk about in-depth frame data or system mechanics, these are things that definitely give you an edge. Like they give you a value of, like, let's say, like 10 or 15. And they might not even take that much effort to learn. Like the thing you mentioned of the risk thing, it's not too hard to implement into your gameplay. But the problem is that it's like the return is so low compared to what else they could be doing. Oh, by the way, Zato cannot 6p the 214H, the low firefish. Oh, okay. I think I die. It definitely was an incidental discovery from my end during gameplay too.
All or nothing.
I think I actually should have just done a combo instead of the unblockable. It does give him a way out with burst, but I don't think he'll burst there. Where's my IB? Got him. You think doing run-up drunkard on people's wake-up is a valid strategy to blow up wake-up throws? No, probably not. The frame... I believe it's minus on block. I'm kind of surprised that I don't remember what it is, but I'm pretty sure it's minus on block. To the point where it would be devastating to do so on a blocking opponent. Where is my throw? Where is my drill? And generally speaking, things like that, I think Zato just has better offense that it can afford to use. And that's kind of the more core issue. It's not that it's a bad choice necessarily. Like if this were a different game, like Grand Blue, that is kind of actually what you do in Grand Blue, which is you do the overhead attack after having ran towards the opponent to the point where you're like running into them for like a solid second. So you do that, and then you do the overhead attack, because the running entices the opponents to want to throw. And in that game, the punish of getting countered by the overhead attack is one of the greatest in the game. And it's all because the defense in that game is all so horrible. Like the options you have for defense are trash in Grand Blue. So it creates these like weird, funky offense structures that you don't usually see in fighting games, and especially not in a game like Guilty Gear. Ah, okay. It's -6, but is active for 10 frames, so it could theoretically be +4. It is better than Drill in terms of just raw frame advantage then. I think if he didn't YRC, I would have actually beat him. I'm not sure. Where's my blitz?
Turn up the heat.
Hit him with the PS frame trap. It's really surprising how few people know that Eddie cannot frame trap by himself. Like if Eddie is far away from Zato, and you are afraid of Eddie, like doing some sort of frame trap on you, that is not a possibility. He cannot do that. He's not that scary when he's alone. I have to do it. I'll always follow this up by saying it was optimal, and it's true.
Heaven or hell. Duel. One. Let's rock.
Why did I get drill?
Duel. Two. Keep on rocking.
Oh, the combos. Okay. I figure. What if the bounce from counter drunkard in the corner was long enough to let you summon then continue to juggle?
Heaven or hell. Duel. One. Let's rock.
You mean like as a Oki option, if you do counter drunkard and then get to summon Eddie. Hold on. I'm gonna finish this game and then I'll reply. What? Okay, he had no meter. It's fine.
Duel. Two. Turn up the heat.
Why do that? I'm so curious. Why would you do that? Okay, so generally, and this kind of doesn't actually have to do with what you said, so I apologize, but I enjoy when you say that. So when you tell me things like that, because I haven't thought of them, and there probably is value in thinking about things like that, because it could be like a new thing that people haven't been doing that is very valuable. Now here's and I want you to tell me more things like that, if you have things that come to your mind, because again, they could be valuable. That being said, the way that I learn and improve fighting games is not necessarily, okay, here's something that people haven't been doing, and like maybe this is something that has higher value than what is understood to be like the gameplay of this character. Because while it is very highly innovative and it can come up with some very creative things, it is less efficient when it comes to just raw performance than just copying what other people have done and then trying to master that. So generally, all of my gameplay, and also all of my like things that I tell people to do, my advice, or if people are asking me like how do I get better at the game, they're all going to be revolving around, you need to follow the path that has already been charted upon. Which, again, has nothing to do with what you said. So it is a little bit off topic, but I thought it would be good to make that clear. It's a very, like, a Korean-Japanese way to learn, generally speaking. You don't really question what is already the norm, and then you just kind of work on things that you are told to do. Oh, okay. As for the actual thing that you wrote, I think that you don't have time to do that, but if you do have time, that's actually probably better than doing drill, because drill doesn't guarantee you that amount of time at all. Now it's just a matter of difficulty, because getting that exact frame to hit on the opponent is going to be pretty hard. That hits the backdash? That's insane. Close.
Heaven or hell. Duel. One. Let's rock.
What? For example, like if I do Shadow Gallery there, or not Shadow Gallery, if I do Drunker Shade there, instead of doing the drill, and I can guarantee that I have the frame advantage, that would be better than doing drill, usually. Like other than the factor that drill is a low, which people shouldn't be getting caught by anyways. That's very valid, but yeah, since I don't get many opportunities to play the game with other people, I just like to get my fill by thinking of novel things. Yeah, completely understandable. People like to enjoy the game in different ways, for sure. The only reason I bring it up now is because I feel like if I continue to get ideas like that from you, and then it seems like I'm not too interested in what you have to say, it's not because what you have to say is of low value necessarily. It's because the way in which I absorb information is just fundamentally different than how you may absorb your information. That's all. It is good to let people know, I think.
Heaven or hell. Duel. One. Let's rock.
For some reason I thought the laser with 2 hits.
Duel. 2. All or nothing.
There is the range. I hope you all saw how short that 2S range was just now.
Duel. 3. Keep on rocking.
Arguable to unsummon Nettie here instead. But I think like when people are at a certain HP threshold, it starts being really valuable to be able to put them there, like this kind of HP, where basically one hit will just kill them. Like that has really high value too. Oh, so close. I think he just did not press the button fast enough. That should have actually beaten me. If I do uncharged blitz, that is minus.
Heaven or hell. Duel. 1. Let's rock.
Please work. Nice. You know, sometimes that will just not work because the opponent's just too high up.
Turn up the heat.
It'll either fling the opponent backwards or just have them fall out of the sword for who knows why. I got into some beef with JP and Milia players just today because I posted a flashy combo idea that was evidently not practical enough and unrealistic garbage. Yeah, and you can see, like, in that kind of scenario, you have to think about what I just said, which is some people, not everyone, but some people will just value different things in such greatly different ways that change depending on just who you are and how you play the game. So, like, for a lot of people, what you post will be really valuable. And then there's like this probably small subset of people to whom it'll be so insignificant to them because it doesn't help their gameplay in like an efficient way, I should add. So it's just really a perspective thing. And generally speaking, I should add, if you've played other games also, even outside of fighting games, you'll generally notice that regions like North America and Europe tend to create strategies and types of play that you could use like the large umbrella term of being more creative than from players who are in regions such as Korea or Japan and such. And this is despite the fact that, generally speaking, regions like North America and Europe tend to have worse performance than these regions. And it's partly a cultural thing, I think. You can go all the way back to even like Counter-Strike or StarCraft 1. You'll see a lot of examples of players from North America or Europe not exactly doing better, but presenting more like interesting ideas of the game. That's not to say that if someone called your thing if someone called your thing unrealistic garbage, that does seem a little unempathetic, but it is how it is. It's the internet. Counter it. Okay, at least that didn't get clipped by the ice spike. Nice. The wing of salt.
Heaven or hell. Duel. One. Let's rock.
By the way, I didn't press a button there. It's just that I was still in recovery from the previous action that I got counter it. It's not that I pressed a button. It is how much time you have when you're facing Zato in this scenario. tried too hard to IB, I think. It's funny, I replied with an improved version of the combo in a very realistic match scenario. They replied with a ton of insults. At that point, it's... I think it's I think it's out of your hands at that point. It seems like they're emotionally invested, which you don't want. Best possible scenario for me. He bursts and I win the round.
Duel 2. Turn up the heat.
I feel kind of out of it right now for some reason. Oh, nice. That's the best possible Shadow Gallery, where it just hits low enough, or makes the opponent get flung low enough, that they actually get the dust afterwards without doing anything. Is Dizzy Super Frame 1 after the Super Flash? I don't think it is, no. Because you can throw after Flash, and you can still get the throw. Like a regular throw. Yeah, before it was a preemptive command grab to try and get the super. that's why I thought it was so impressive. I gotta say. No meter. Oh, what am I doing?
Duel 2. All or nothing.
Oh.
Duel 3. All or nothing.
Okay. Surprised he got hit by that at the end. Nice round start fire drill. Yeah, there's a lot of things like that where you want to use drill, especially fire drill, so that it hits the backdash as opposed to hitting the, like, where you think they are going to be at. This is really important for Oki also, off of things like air throw. Why? Why do that?
Duel 2. Turn up the heat.
It was devastating for him. Oh! Okay, I think my super just did not work there. Like I misinput.
Duel 3. All or nothing.
There's my drill. Yeah, that's hard to think about if you're the opponent, because you're getting hit. And if you're getting hit, usually it means that the opponent is like on you. But in the case of Zato, it's actually Eddie hitting you, and Zato is like kind of far back. So it's hard for your brain to think like, okay, I can't actually burst here. Normally, getting hit equals, if I burst, it's gonna work, generally. It's kind of hardwired into most people's brains. Oh, by the way, I actually don't want that to hit the 5H, like as a punishment to the burst, because I want him to be grounded still. So if I hit him with a 5H, it makes him able to tech, and if he techs, I'm in a worse position than if he were knocked down. A little too close still. Okay, I tried the thing you said. I don't know if it was meaty. Ah, traded.
Heaven or hell. Duel 1.
There's another interesting scenario you could drunkard as a burst punish. I think it requires you to be really precise with your timing. Like you have to IB the burst and then dash in, I think, to do that. I could be wrong. Do I die? I don't.
Duel. All or nothing.
We're both aping really hard right now. I'm aping because I shouldn't say this actually. Oh my blitz. I think I die as a result. Oh, my blitz again. I died twice in the same way.
Heaven or hell. Duel. One. Let's rock.
That unsummon just now, by the way, where I did like 2k into unsummon. That's you shouldn't do that versus people you think are decent players. Why was I aping will be the homework for today's stream.
All or nothing.
It's really unfortunate that these counter hits that I get with W, they're so low value just because they're in the air by like a tiny bit. It's kind of weird, I think. The like your value you get from it drops off so hard just because they're not grounded. The counter hits, Nobiru grounded, that's like, you can get like 250 damage and knockdown, although it's not a great knockdown. Or if you're in the corner, you can basically guarantee the round if you have meter. That's how good it is. But then when it's airborne, it's like maybe 200 damage, and you don't get a knockdown ever. Yeah, the airborne is worse, by far. What I mean is that just because they're airborne by a little bit, it's weird that the difference in reward is that great. Because for a lot of characters, it doesn't really matter too much whether they're airborne or not. Like, it does affect some routes, but it's not like the biggest deal in the world. Not that every character is like that.
Duel. Turn up the heat.
God damn it. No burst, surprising still.
Duel. Three. All or nothing.
Even more surprising to see a burst like this after that. Oh, nice. I win. I win the round. It is my superior skill that led to this victory. Thank you.
Heaven or hell. Duel. One. Let's rock.
I don't think I die. I did not die. How did he get hit even though the drill is behind him? So Dizzy has a lot of moves that if you press them, it makes her hurt box extend backwards. I actually have a pretty good video on this. If you go to actually I forget what the title is called, but there's a lot of like Dizzy moves, and there's a drill behind her, but upon pressing the button, it makes her get hit. 2D is one of them, yeah. Oh, that's not great. Please work. Okay. It's really sad thing that I have to pray to some ascended being that this works every time I use it. Like, it'd be really nice if it just works every time.
Heaven or hell. Duel. One. Let's rock.
Nice. That's not what I wanted. Okay. Some ascended being also descends to troll you every now and then. He has a thing for his auto players, apparently. In Rev 2 specifically. Unfortunate. That would have been a really cool combo if I had that gauge. I can do the basketball loops.
3. Keep on rocking.
I think he pressed close slash before I landed. That's why that worked. Oh, that's not good. It's a lot of risk. I'll probably go up to 30 wins and then stop there. Seems like a good place to stop. I'm glad I got a long set with this guy though. It's I don't usually get games this good on stream. But where's my 5p? Did I go through my 6p just now? I think it did. He shouldn't be letting you get away with 2S drill 214H Nobiru, right? Yeah, they can punish that, but he's not doing it. That is correct. I would go for Shadow Gallery after air hit, counter Nobiru every time. You would, and that is better, but it's hard. Or, I mean, I assume you mean in the corner situation when that works, grounded. Like against a counter hit Nobiru in the corner. So like in that scenario, yeah, it is always better to go for that. Sometimes you just don't really have the time to make it as easy as it should be. Mid screen. Oh, I see. That one's a little bit more questionable because it's an argument of, do you want a relatively bad knockdown, or do you want a bit more damage and forego the knockdown entirely? And I don't think there's like a solid answer to that. I don't want to die. I died. So mid screen you can do like 6p, whatever, Nobiru, Shadow Gallery, and it knocks down. But the advantage that you get from doing that is not so good. It's like you can't really get you can't get your ideal pressure going from that.
two. Keep on rocking.
Go, my child. My child didn't do much. Okay, that's fine. See, that situation wouldn't have happened if I didn't use Great White. I've always got to think positively about that super. Ape. Bunga bunga. Oh, nice! Okay. Ape is also something to behold. You have to do it in a fair, well no. You have to do it in some matchups. This is one of them. Like that kind of run up on round start, I would also consider to be a ape behavior. I don't do it versus most other characters. Oh, that was rollback. That was very hard rollback.
All or nothing.
See, this is what you mean of doing the Shadow Gallery to knock down. But you can see, like, I can't get the advantage after to get my Oki going. So it's like, would I rather have that, or would I just get a bit more damage? And it really depends, I think. Damn. And I tend to lean towards the side of just get the higher damage and get out. keep thinking it's 2 hits, but it's not. The laser. Again.
Duel 2. Turn up the heat.
I aped less hard than the Dizzy did this round, and yet I got worse results. Maybe it means I need to ape harder.
Heaven or hell. Duel 1. Let's rock.
What? If she does the 4S like that, from that distance, it is very safe. Now if she goes for like a 5k into 4S, or a 2k 4S, that can be bursted. Here's the crazy thing too. With all the downsides that Zato has, and all the limitations in terms of requiring Eddy, and then also requiring meter in some cases to maintain your pressure, I don't feel like Zato has a greater offense than Dizzy. Because you can kind of argue that, okay, Dizzy also requires some setup to get her stuff going. But it's not nearly to the extent that Zato does, in terms of also requiring, on top of that, the presence of Eddy. It's kind of like, maybe there was an issue here with the balancing of the game. I generally don't talk about balance, but... Because I get the desire. The desire is to turn the knobs in a way that maintains balance. So, like, you give Zato greater offense, but in order to do that, you take away some other things. Like, you require Eddy gauge, and then also it's just harder to get knockdowns. That's the price you pay for greater offense. And I feel like in this game, the offense that you get is not does not match the downsides he has. Oh, that doesn't kill. I see. It's interesting how you sometimes give up on trying to recall Eddie and just go all in with like 20% Eddie gauge. I'm curious as to when you would decide it's too late to recall in neutral. It's hard. It's really hard to answer. So it's just it's like kind of the key to Zato neutral. Actually, what you're asking right now is whether you want to recall Eddie always, or always go for one damage, or choose like the middle ground in between. And it's pretty clear that it's somewhere in the middle between those two things, but it's not clear like how far to either degree you want to go, and that's impossible for me to determine for you. Like every player is going to play slightly differently in that regard. Am I dead? I am.
Duel 2. Turn up the heat.
You know what's in my head right now? It's I need to do my Maple Story dailies. It's so cursed how I'm bound to this game right now.
Heaven or hell. Duel 1. Let's
Oh, that works. Oh. Where is my throw game? Okay, that's fine. Can't let him win the first to 30. What are we at now? It must be pretty close, right? 29, 27. I see. Well, then I really gotta win. Okay, let's try to make it this one.
Duel 3. Turn up the heat.
It's a good start. Damn. Nice, got him. I'll do one more just in case he thinks. Actually, no, I'm gonna leave now. Goodbye. Oh, that was a good set, I guess. There's also I should mention, I feel there's a lot of times where it's very clear to me that he wants to throw. and like do a grounded throw. And usually, like there are like 2 times there where you want to do that. And when I jump to make it not work, it looks as if he's just doing a normal. So I'm not sure if other people know that that is like a throw situation that was avoided. There were 2 of them. That's that. Not that's that game. But a RPS is happening there. The 5H, yeah. Let me do this thing real quick, which is, and I really wish there was the wake up tool, or not the wake up tool, the lap tool still that worked. There was a tool, a third-party tool called Exert Lap Tool, and it told you, like it looked at the game, and it told you what your frame advantage was in training mode. And it did so live, so like if you did a move, like let's say I do Gunflame, depending on the distance I am from the opponent when I do this, it'll calculate the frame advantage depending on how far away I was. And it was really good, but then I think it stopped working because the game kept getting updated, but the developer did not continue to do so. What is it about Exert you like more than GGACR and other fighting games? Part of it is combo feel, so I mentioned this before too, but there's this thing, mechanically speaking, where it's like combos and the way characters move and the way moves feel. It's hard to describe, but they just kind of feel right. And it partly has to do with just experience of the game. The more you play the game, the more natural it's going to feel, the better it's going to feel, the more smooth it's going to be. But other than that, like I've played a lot of other games, and I think I have a fairly objective view of how games feel to me. And to me, it seems like this game feels right. Other games that feel right are Third Strike, and Soku also feels pretty right. Although now, in recent times, it started to not feel so right. But Exert feels right. Plus R feels okay, but I don't think it feels as good as this game. It has something to do with the buffer differences between games. But also, I like the way offense is structured in this game. I like the way defense is structured in this game. And things just kind of line up correctly. Did you see my comment on YouTube? What is it about this? Oh, I see. Yeah, I did see it.
Negative penalty.
And I guess other than that, it's kind of hard to answer because it's like a feel thing, and it's hard to put into words feel things. But the number of options you're given, it's really good. Like here's an easy comparison. In Granblue Fantasy Versus, you'll see offense that looks like this. So imagine I'm playing Zato. You'll see offense that looks like, and then you'll see an overhead attack. So why do you see offense like this? Like imagine that the IED is an overhead attack. So you get a knockdown, you run up, even until the opponent has woken up, and then you do the overhead attack. Like why do you do this? It's because in that game, the defensive options that you have are so trash that in order to deal with this, you need to press a button. You can't throw in that game. There's no one-frame throw. So because you're pressing a button, now you're opening yourself up to being counter-hit by this overhead attack. And like it's one of many things in that game where I feel like this is not a game that makes you feel like you're in charge. That's another thing too that's really important. I like games that make you feel like if you're good enough, like if you're capable, you can do anything in the game. And a game that I mentioned before, Third Strike, also falls into this very heavily. If you're good enough at parrying, you can basically do anything in that game. You can do whatever you want, if you're good enough. This game, I think Exert doesn't come as close as that. Like, it doesn't have the parry and the freedom that it gives you. But it gives you a lot of freedom in other senses, if you're good enough at the game. Like, that reward structure that exists, I feel like is very important. Melee is another one, where if you're good enough, you can do a lot in that game too. And I feel like for games like, and that's not to say that plus R specifically is not like that. I think that plus R also has that, and if anything, probably has more of that than Exert. But that game has some other issues, namely Zappa for me. I'm not a fan of Zappa existing. Not too much of a fan of YRC, but I did play Melee professionally for like 10 years. Yeah, YRC I think is a little bit divisive, but it's also overstated a lot by a lot of people. So like people will say, I don't like this game, I don't like Exord because it has YRC. And then you look at why they don't like YRC, and it's like, well, you can do YRC projectile and it plays the game for you. And you look at the game and you see, does it really do that? Does the game play itself just because you do enhanced stun edge YRC? And you get to quickly realize that that's not really the case. Like there's a lot more to the game than projectile YRC. And then there's some other ways you can use YRC that people are supposedly not a fan of, but for me, that downside, if you can call it a downside, is not enough to make it unenjoyable. If anything, the things that make it unenjoyable for me are things like having to mash to tuck. I think that's really a big downside. I would really prefer if it had like a Under Night system where you just hold it down and you tuck. Danger Time is also very divisive. I think Danger Time is okay. And it's because Danger Time is one of the few things in the game that create like a highlight moment for people to look at. So if you're someone who doesn't play the game, you don't play Exord, but you've seen that one clip where it's Chip versus Slayer. They're both full HP, they have a lot of meter. It's Danger Time. The Slayer gets one hit in, and the Chip dies. Like that kind of thing. That kind of thing is like it's propagated by Danger Time. And it might not be like the greatest mechanic for gameplay purposes. Like it might not be the most competitive mechanic out there. But if it makes more people watch the game, if it gets more eyes on the game, I feel like that's a good thing, generally. Not always. A bad implementation of this would be Rage Art in Tekken, I feel like. Where, yeah, it's like kind of hype, I guess, if you don't play the game. I think Danger Time is fine now after comparing it to damage in Modern Fighting. Yeah, that's for sure. Like, if you compare it to Strive, especially, Mash Attack is awkward, although this game has invincible tech forward. It does. So it has invincible tech for every tech. For neutral tech, it is invul. For forward tech, it is invul. But for forward tech, it is more invul than for neutral tech, by a little bit. Which is a source of many grievances by Zato, when he's trying to catch techs with 2H, but then the massive hurtbox on this move gets it wrecked by moves like JP from Jam, or Soul, or Kai, or any other character that likes to mash and is a gorilla. What was I gonna do? I was gonna do... Let's see. I need to set it to mirror. Oh, here's an example of a game I don't like that much, and it's Under Night. And I don't like Under Night, and this is all based on limited info, by the way, because I haven't played the game that much, and I said this I think a few days ago too. I don't like Under Night because the grid system in the game makes you be incentivized to do things that don't necessarily feel strong. So an example of this would be like, say for example, I play in that game Batista, Yuzu, and Carmine to some degree. But especially when I play Batista, something that I feel is I have all these tools. I have lasers, I have fireballs, I have gems, and I want to... Like, my ideal method of playing this character is I just want to zone. I want to use fireballs, I want to use lasers, I want to stop you from getting in. And I have a really good toolkit for doing that. Like, the character is designed to do that, kind of. Except she also has an instant overhead, for some reason. So the game gives you this character, but then says, okay, we're going to put you in Under Night. And in Under Night, we have this system called Grid. And if you shield things, like attacks, that are very easy to see, you're actually going to get an advantage for doing so. So because this system exists, now it's not actually as strong of an option to just do those things that I mentioned, of doing fireballs and lasers and gems. Like, if I just keep doing that full screen, I'm not actually winning the game. And it feels like there's a there is a disconnect between how strong the move should feel based on just how it works, like the frame data, and how strong it actually is in the game. I'm not a huge fan of that, I think. And that's going to be a dividing factor for most people who don't like the game. And generally speaking, I think it's going to be, oh, I don't like grid and how it works. Like if I have a tool in this game, like I have this tool, Drunkard, if I am given the correct condition to be able to use it, like let's say my opponent uses a fireball, and I see that the fireball happens, and I have the tool to be able to deal with it, it feels to me like I should be able to just use it, because I confirmed the situation, and I should be rewarded for doing so. Hello Ray, good games. I was getting tired, and I decided to leave on 30. But in Under Night, you can't exactly do this. You also have to consider grid, which some people will really enjoy. Like that is the whole point of why they play the game, I think. That's understandable. But for me, it is a very fun game when you play it in training mode. That's it. In training mode, like the combos are really fun. The way it feels is really fun. And characters also, like the way character kits are designed, also seem pretty fun. But I don't like grid. Like if you had Batista or Carmine in this game, in Exord, that would be amazing. It was a good refresher for Zato. There's not a lot of them, I assume. There's me. I don't know if Julian, Beautiful Dude, still plays. I don't think that Marlon plays this game anymore, I could be wrong. And there's not really anyone else. I was going to do something in training mode. Oh right, okay. What was this? Whoops. Oh, I see. It's very active. I see. Okay, hold on. I don't think you have time to do this, but yeah, you don't. No way. But okay, hold on. Even if you can't do this, something you can do is probably 5H instead. Well, 2K for sure you can do, but what I'm interested in when I see this is I want to see if you can do Drunkard as a meaty, and then like lead it into a summon that is safe. That would be really good. I don't think you can do that, but and one safe way to do that, kind of, would be if I can do 5H in time before I get mashed out. So that I can at least do a P summon after. No, I don't think I can do that. So probably 2K is the best. So this is not that meaty, but okay, yeah. This should be better. That should work. It did not work. See, what the lap tool would do, if it still worked, is there's a window that appears on top, and it just tells you literally the frame advantage that you have. It'll say like -1, +1, +2, depending on how meaty you did it. But the tool doesn't work right now, which is highly unfortunate. I don't think this... There we go, okay. So you can really see that it's meaty here. You can do 2k, but I don't think you can do much else. So you gotta... Yeah, I think it's an interesting idea because it baits the opponent into throwing you. Because they're running into you like this, right? So it makes them want to throw. But I think the result is that it's pretty similar to doing a meaty drill. Because the best you can do is 2k. Like, the only relevant normals here that you want to look at are 2k and 5h, I think. Because those are actually plus, and nothing else is. And 5h doesn't seem to work. Yeah, 5h doesn't work. And 2k is the only one, which means it's basically the same as drill. Except it's not a low, but it baits them into throwing, I guess, possibly. And it's harder to do, mechanically. It's a lot harder. Oh, you know this is a real combo? I should mention, real as in it works, not as in it's good. I think I got it here. Yep. You can even summon Eddie here, I think, so... If I recall correctly... Yeah, you can. And it's really weird because it's a short amount of time, so it affects gravity in a really weird way. See, like, usually the Nobiru will put him way higher up, but because of the gravity scaling... Yeah. Point being, you can do some cool things, but it's not practical at all, unfortunately. Now this is a real combo. It only works. See the line on the floor here? So where I'm standing right now, this line, and then where the opponent's also standing. Like, it only works if you land the 5D within this range. But if you do land it, you can do this, which is pretty cool, and it knocks down. Okay, I think that's about it now. So, oh, actually, hold on. Okay, good. I'm not late. I need to go for to play Maple Story. So I'm going to head off. Goodbye, thank you for joining. And also, I have a Discord that you can get live alerts for whenever I go live, and for YouTube also. I will see you all probably tomorrow. I should be here tomorrow. So I will see you all later.